All right, welcome back to our final review videos. Today we're preparing for the Try 2 final, and we're going to do numbers 20, 21, 22, and 23, I believe. Ooh, actually it says I have 6 slides. So it looks like it's 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. All right, my first one, it says DF bisects E angle EDG, find FG. The diagram is not to scale. Remember, if something bisects something, it means it cuts in half. In this case, it cuts this angle in half, which is why it has the 2 marks there. It also means that these two parts have to be congruent to each other. So I know EF is congruent to GF, or I know that n plus 8 is equal to 3n minus 4. We are going to go ahead and solve for n. So I'm going to start by subtracting n from both sides. When I do that, I get 8 equals 2n minus 4. From there, I'm going to add 4 to both sides, and I get 12 equals 2n. And my last step, we're going to divide by 2, and I get n equals 6. And that will be my final answer. Actually, just kidding, I wish it was my final answer, but notice my question says find FG. So I have to take that value and plug it back into FG. I'm going to give myself a little more space. So for that one, I'm going to do FG equals 3n minus 4, because we're looking for this length here, which is going to be 3 times 6 minus 4, which is 18 minus 4, which is in fact 14. And that is my final answer for number 20. Alright, my next one says Q is equidistant from the sides of angle TSR. Find the value of X. Diagram's not to scale. Again, that's a fancy way of saying these two parts are congruent to each other, which means that these two have to be congruent. So I'm going to set those values equal to each other. I'm going to do 24 equals 3x plus 18. I'm going to go ahead and start by subtracting 18 from x, or from both sides, excuse me, so we can solve for x. If I do 24 minus 18, I get 6 equals 3x. Remember, these guys canceled. And then we'll go ahead and divide by 3. On the left side, we'll have 2. My 3's cancel, equals x. So that will be a right answer. Now, if you're unsure, if you're like, yo, Miss Sylvester, I don't know how to even solve this problem, you can take whatever this value is, and you could plug it in here. When I plug it in, it should give me 24. Your test is multiple choice, so you can just plug in the answers you're given if you don't know how to, like, algebraically solve. My next one says, list the sides in order from shortest to longest. The diagram is not to scale. Remember, your shortest side is across from the smallest angle. Oh. Weird. And your longest side is across from the biggest angle. Now, why I said this is weird is because if I notice, this just gives me my side lengths. I feel like this question should have been about angles. But if I'm listing my sides from shortest to longest, my shortest side is this one, AB, because it's 5. My next one is going to be AC, because it's 6. And my last one's going to be CB. Now, if your test asks you to do the angles, remember your smallest angle is across from the shortest side. So if I'm doing angles, my first one's going to be angle C, because 5 is the smallest. 6 is the next smallest, so then we'd have angle B. And my last one, my biggest side is 7, so A would be the biggest angle. Maybe it'll just ask you to do sides, and it'll give you the side lengths, because that should be kind of a gimme for you. 23 says, name the smallest angle of angle ACB. Wow. Okay, so my smallest angle of triangle ACB is going to be angle K, because it's 37 degrees. Now again, if it asks you for the small side, you would go across, and it would be this one here, JL. Uh, 24, which 3 lengths could be the lengths of the sides of a triangle? Remember, to be the sides of a triangle, you have to add 2 together, and it has to be bigger than the third side. So my first one, I would do 12 plus 5 is greater than 17. Well, 12 plus 5 gives me 17. so it's not greater. So that means this one can't work. For my next one, we have 9 plus 22 needs to be greater than 11. 22 plus 9 gives me what? 31, which is greater than 11. But now we did 9 and 22, so we have to do a different pair. Maybe I want to do 9 plus 11 and see if that's greater than 22. Well, 9 plus 11 gives me 20. We want that to be greater than 22. That is not true, so C doesn't work. I'm going to give myself a little space. My next one is 10 and 15. 10 plus 15 should be greater than 24. We have 25 is greater than 24. Again, if I do a different pair, maybe I do 24 and 10. So 24 plus 10 should be greater than 15. That's 25, which is greater than 15, so that's good too. My last pair would be 15 plus 24, should be greater than 10. Again, that gives me 39, which is greater than 10, so B is actually one that will work. Let's test D. We'll do it in red. So we have 7 plus 6 should be greater than 21. 7 plus 6 gives me 13, which is not greater than 21. So that means this one wouldn't work either. So your answer is going to be B, 10, 15, 24. All right, my last one in this video, number 25, says two sides of a triangle have lengths 5 and 12. Which inequalities represent the possible lengths for the third side x? So my three side lengths are 5, actually, I'm going to use black. 5, 12, and x. We're going to do kind of like we did in the last one and start with our first two and add them together, 5 plus 12, and say that they're greater than x. Then I like to do my last two, 12 plus x should be greater than 5. And then we'll do the first and the last, 5 plus x is greater than 12. Now notice how each of my lines have, or each of my numbers have two lines underneath. You have to make sure you use both of your numbers twice. Alright, we're going to go ahead and solve these inequalities. We want to get x by itself. For my first one, 5 plus 12 gives me 17, which is greater than x. My next one, I want to move 12 to the other side, so I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides. We get x is greater than negative 7. And my last one, we're going to subtract the 5 from both sides, and we get x is greater than, I wrote the answer, 7. Now we have three options. Now here's the thing. We're talking about side lengths, so x represents a length. Can my length ever be negative? The answer should be no. So that means I don't care about this one. This one does not work. You want to write your answer with x in the middle, and there should be a number before, a number after. Your first number should be the smallest. Your second number should be the big number. So if I notice we have 7, that's my small one, it's going to go first. And then we have 17, that's a big one, it'll go last. So my final answer would be 7 is less than x, which is less than 17. All right, thank you for watching, and good luck on your final.